Welcome to EIP Editing Office Hour Meeting 5. I have shared agenda in chat in which we have already listed a couple of pull requests, actually more than a couple. So we will be going through all those pull requests, but first we'd like to address PRs or EIPs with authors present. I know there is one proposal that is here for last call. The number is EIP 5496. So maybe we can start from there. Over to you, Sam. And anyone joining the call, if you have a proposal, please list your number here in the chat so we can take that one by one.
Is this the correct EIP?
That's right, yes.
Okay, cool. So did you have any particular questions about it, or did you just want me to go through it, or?
Yeah. We just want you to, go through it. Like 2 weeks ago, you had some feedbacks, and we changed according to your feedback. Just get an idea.
Sure, yeah, I'll take a look.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a look. Where do we go here? There it is. All right, so let's take a look at the docs for. So time and duration. Expiry should be less than 30 days. Okay, so did you clear up whether expires was a duration or a deadline or okay, so
Yeah, we did.
so it's a timestamp. Okay.
Yes.
Expiry timestamp.
Yeah, if you move, just move a little bit. I put the explanation here.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. And then we've got return the expiry timestamp of privilege. Yep, that's good. Okay. 5496. Okay. If the owner of this stated energy should be transfers. The owner of this stated NFT transfers, out to another user. There's no impact on privileges, but errors may. Occur. Yeah, there we go. When the owner tries to withdraw the original token from. Okay, so, but errors may occur when the owner tries to withdraw the original EIP 712 token from.
Yeah, actually, if you want to use the multiple privileges, you need to wrap. That's the deposit your original NFT 721 into the
Yeah. From withdraw the original from a. Wrapper, something like that. So generally speaking, we try to discourage like linking to your own EIP in the EIP.
Okay.
So if that's all right, just use this. If it's not, just use a slightly different wording, whatever you think is right.
Oh, okay.
Via functions unwrap in our implementation. Okay. Usually there's no impact on privileges, but errors may occur when the owner tries to withdraw the original token. If any available privilege is still
Valid or ongoing?
Yeah, just ongoing is kind of it's not specific enough, I guess. If any available privilege is still like on loan, leased, shared, something like that.
Yeah.
Valid?
Yeah.
Valid, yeah. Probably valid is the word.
Yeah, valid. Yeah. Valid's all right. Valid. We protect the rights of the holders of the privileges by checking the last expired date of the privilege. Yep, so that's fine. So we'll do that. Okay. Yep. Okay, the standard is in the Yeah, so that seems fine. Every contract, yep, that's good. The 712 identifier, this interface is good. Do you define what total privilege is here? Or is that just when any privileges change?
Yeah,
Yeah, privilege total changed. Okay, and then, yeah, okay. Okay, privilege assigned, so privilege transferred is removed. So when you say done here, do you mean that you have a commit that removes these, or
just remove that privilege transfer.
Yeah, but it hasn't actually been done, right? Because it's still here. So don't forget to remove it.
If you might last commit, I think I already removed.
The last commit is not successful, I think. Like it's not merged. Like still it's not. Yeah, last commit already.
This one. 9920 2790 49E. That should be the last one at the bottom of this list. Yes, this one. No, yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like it has that change in here. Not a huge deal. I think it just needs to be. Yeah, just don't forget to remove that that event. It doesn't line up with the standard here. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like. There. Cool.
Yeah, we will update it right away.
Yeah, sure. And feel free to ping me like on Discord or Twitter or wherever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Did you have any other questions about this one, or if not, we'll move on to whoever the next author is.
Okay. So no questions, then we're good, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, thank you. So
Okay, thank you.
So the next one we have is 5773.
Sure.
It looks like it is added as review, but to me, it looks more like a new proposal. So maybe you could take a look.
Yeah, so it looks like it's draft here, so that should be fine. All right. Okay, so I guess these are like comments that come out all the time when I'm reviewing EIPs, and I'm very bad at making suggestions. So your title and description don't give enough context for somebody who's looking through a list of EIPs to kind of understand what this EIP does. So I'd recommend probably expanding on these a little bit. So
Maybe use cases.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we do have a lot of that explanation, but maybe in the abstract and motivation, but we'll try to put something there like summarizing the title.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So the multi-resource NFT standard allows for the construction of a new, simple, clearly defined structure for context-dependent output of multimedia information per single NFT. Interesting. So I assume this extends 721. It does. Okay. So an NFT can have multiple resources, outputs, and orders them by priority.
I do have a question about
Yeah, of course.
context dependent output. Can you like give me an example of like context dependent? Is it like formatting of the asset, or is it like audio visual?
Well, yeah, this is the context. So it basically means depending on how you try to access the NFT, you're served a different resource. So for example, if you open it with an audiobook reader, then you'll get an audio file. If you open it with an ebook reader, you would get a PDF file.
I see. If I understood correctly, then thank you.
Okay. So they don't have to mention it. Okay. So and then did you have to match a MIME type token URI, nor they depend on one another. Okay, so something I'd probably like to add into the abstract here is how this is actually represented in the contract. So like, is this just like a key value store kind of thing, or is it more complicated than that?
Yeah, it's a bit more complex because in order to know waste, mass, gas, we use lists, but we also use mappings. So yeah, we could be more detailed here.
Yeah, just like a very, very brief like description of how the interface is meant to look so that somebody reading the abstract can kind of get an idea of what a contract would look like.
Okay. Yeah, there is something like maybe different we do, and it's that we store resources by ID, so we can reuse resources in different tokens. That saves
Okay.
a lot of storage and gas. But also, yeah, that kinds of we provide a sample implementation on this, but there are obviously different ways to do it. So would we explain like how we suggest to do it, or
Just what's in the interface generally. So like if your design has like the special feature being able to reuse these outputs, these resources, then you'd want to, mention that that's possible in your abstract, I think.
okay.
Okay. No, that was right. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. Cool. And the focus says, well, there's the need for additional functionality. Okay. Yeah. Cosmetic for game A, so available in game B because okay.
So about the metaverse definition, it is still like vague, right? Because everyone has a different definition about metaverse.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm asking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should, the best path is to actually remove this and make more specific examples, because there's no clear definition of that yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so there is actually another EIP that does something similar to this cross metaverse compatibility. I'm not sure if you guys know about it or are on the team. I think it was there it is. So this one's somewhat similar. It also lets you add specific assets and resources that depend on the viewer to your NFT. So I don't know if you want to take a look at this one as well. I can put it on your discussion thread if you haven't already seen it.
Yeah, please. Yeah, we will definitely look at it.
Yeah, I think this is actually the third EIP I've seen that tries to provide different types of assets to different types of viewers. So yeah, I'd recommend everybody getting together and talking about it at some point, because it seems like everybody's trying to solve similar ideas.
Yep, of course.
Okay. So that looks good. That looks good. Motivation. Okay. Ebook and video. And the comments I'm leaving are not questions to answer me. They're to put in the EIP itself. Just so you're aware.
Okay.
Yeah, many EIPs are mined hastily without best practices. Okay, but I'm gonna say metadata files too. Okay. Teens particularly given. Okay. This is down. The game just down. And if experience has been collected, user. Like the little trademark there. That's That's cute. Once enough experience has been obtained, the trainer continues to about demonstrate and to make sure NFTs is done this is going to have centralized control of the data placement where it's necessary. Yeah, so I would definitely in this section go into a little bit of how this is different from just changing the token URI, because I don't think that that's like what you're describing here isn't that different. I don't think it's just maybe the fact that the owner can accept or reject the change, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'd probably clear that up a little bit in there.
Yeah, it's okay. It's different. We will explain further.
Okay, whatever resource is set. Okay, resource override proposed. Okay, so if you have a resource that overwrites an existing resource, would that emit both resource added to token and resource overwrite proposed, or just resource overwrite proposed?
It would emit both.
Okay. Why? Do you need both, or?
Yeah, I think thinking of indexers, this feels much easier to keep track of. But maybe, well, yeah, actually, we could merge them if we always include the overrides and it's just 0 when it's not trying to override anything. And just use the other one.
So is an overwrite like a removing a resource? Like with the new? Okay, so I haven't read the rest of the interface. Obviously, I'm just going off the events here, so bear with me. But so is overwriting a resource like removing an old resource ID and adding a new resource ID, or?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay. So would it maybe make more sense just to have a resource removed and a resource added, or?
So the thing is, we have a propose accept mechanism. So maybe we could have the override on the propose event.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always nervous about events doing too much, because like if the code that emits the event has to like be aware of like whether it's removing something or adding something, and then there's a lot of gas to calculate that. So, or there might be a lot of gas to calculate that. So I don't know. I'm always leery about that. So you can feel free to ignore. I'm not like an expert on Solidity or anything, but yeah. Okay, so.
It's okay, we will take a look.
Yeah.
Just a question before we continue, and I
Mhm.
don't forget. Regarding these EIPs that also try to address the multi-resource problem, we will of course take a look at them and review where we are different. So where should we put that? And can we like specifically name like this is different from EIP X on this, or how should it be?
So if you specifically so you can be like this EIP differs from other proposals because, and then put some text there. You can link to other EIPs if you want, but if your EIP, let's say, goes like you're trying to go to final, and the other EIP is still in draft, your EIP will be blocked if you directly link to it. So I recommend just avoiding linking to it directly, but you can definitely say something like, we're different from other proposals because, and that's fine.
Okay, that's a great recommendation. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think if you can actually state the key differentiators and the functionality, that would be, visible to everyone.
Okay, perfect.
Just give me 1 sec, sorry. Okay, so resource overwritten. Okay, accepts the resource from pending resource. This resource from the pending array to be accepted right away order is not preserved. Okay, so is this a like a race condition if like let's say I don't know if this is possible. Just bear with me for a sec. But let's say two people have let's say you have an approval on your token for somebody else, and the operator and you both have permission to accept resources. If I send a transaction accepting a resource and it reorders the array, and the operator sends a transaction accepting a resource and it also reorders the array, would that cause like the wrong resource to get approved?
So they are both approved, but yeah, you're right. Actually, if both try to approve the same one, maybe we will be accepting an additional one.
Exactly, yeah.
Not intended. So yeah, this is a really good point.
I'll put a note for that on your discussion thread.
One thing we've think of, because I kind of seen this, is to pass the ID of the resource you're trying to accept. We pass here the index because the resources, like we have a list of pending resources, which is a list, so you need the index, so you don't have to go through it looking for an ID, which is more expensive. But we could also pass the ID just to be extra safe, that once it finds the index, it's actually that resource that is expected to avoid these race conditions. So the second one would fail because the resource you want to accept is no longer in that index.
Could you also do it completely off chain? Like, could you use like a 712 signed permit data that the like contract owner would provide and give to the owner off chain, and then the owner provides that that signed message and the approval, so that you don't need to keep track of it on chain at all?
Not sure. I need to dig on that.
Sure. If you want like an example, the DAI, like DAI's permit function it would be similar.
Okay. Okay, we'll take a look. Thanks.
What was that called? It was accepting resources. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry. Just need to go and deal with something. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right. Okay. Let's reject resource, so that removes it from the pending array. Yeah, so that, like doing it off chain would be so nice, because you wouldn't have to maintain this array of changes. You wouldn't have to worry about like out of order transaction execution. So I think like if you can do that approach with a signature instead of a array of pending, that might be really nice. Rejects our resources.
Yeah, we'll
That just
definitely
clears.
consider it.
Yeah, so reject our resources clears everything. Again, there's probably a race condition here as well because you might clear something that gets added and you didn't mean to clear it. So I'd be careful of that. Maybe just do a list of resources. Okay, priority.
So this is more intended to avoid a spam because
Oh, I see.
yeah, because maybe you have a lot of resources. Although this is actually not a problem here, because only the issuer in the default implementation, like we expect, only the issuer of the collection is supposed to send tokens. So it would be weird if he was spamming, right? But yeah, this is also a possible race condition. You're right.
Okay, so the priority is like if you have two resources with the same ID, pick like the one with the higher priority is the one that's returned first, or?
No,
Okay.
you cannot have two resources with the same ID, but you can have multiple resources. So by default, a marketplace, for instance, would look for the one with the highest priority.
Oh, I see. So it's like if the marketplace, let's say it can't render 3D models, but it can render images. If the first priority is a 3D model, it would move on to the priority 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. So
Interesting.
find the highest priority, which matches what you're looking for, what you can display.
Okay. Okay. So I've seen it before that these kind of functions here often take a length and a get index, and I think it's because if like that lets you do pagination. I don't know if you want to maybe look into that or not. I'm not going to make a comment about it, but it might be worth looking at.
Yes, it might be necessary on active resources because we limit the size of pending resources, but active resources is unbounded. So if the list is too long, you might get out of gas.
Okay.
So that's also very right. Thanks.
Choose the youth resource that would be overridden except for the pending resource. Yeah, so this one also seems a little weird because so this is looking in the pending resources, right? This function get resource overrides.
No, not exactly.
Okay.
When we add a resource and we are trying like that resource intends to override some other one, it gets stored in a different list, or actually in a mapping of ID to ID to be replaced. So this is how you would get like if you accept this resource ID on this token, what would it be replacing?
Can you not have multiple like overrides in the pending list, or?
So multiple resources ID could be pointing to replace the same one, but you cannot have multiple times the same resource ID on the pending or on the active list for a token.
Okay, so yeah, so you can't. So you're saying you cannot have two different pending updates that overwrite the same resource, right? Okay, that makes sense.
So wait, not actually not. This can happen. What cannot happen is like you have this 2 times the same resource trying to overwrite something. So that would be a problem because this mapping is token and resource ID, and I would have 2 keys for resource ID, but that's not possible. What
Okay.
could happen is that two different resources on the same token are proposed to overwrite the same one. So in this case, the
Oh,
first
this is
one.
the new. So this is the new resource ID, not the overwritten resource ID. Okay,
Exactly.
that makes
Exactly.
sense.
So in this case, the first one, which is accepted, would override the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, it would just ignore the override because it wouldn't find the one to override. Yep, I like it. Thanks.
Go returns the metadata of the resource associated with resource ID. Okay. Okay, so I'm hoping this is defined. Okay, so the spec ends here, and this isn't defined. So, okay, fetches resources for resource data from the total active resource. Okay, proof resources. Okay. So, okay, so there's two resource fields. Resources stored within. Okay, that seems fine.
a small question here.
Yep.
In this different projects that are already using this interface, they also use other interfaces we plan to propose in the near future. Is that a problem, or should it be like a project that only uses this?
It should be the smallest possible implementation you can. If you can get it down to just like one Solidity file that's like
Okay.
simple, that would be best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have that one too. This
Okay,
is
perfect.
just examples of like projects or real projects using it.
Yeah, so the reference implementation is more for like if somebody wants to understand how the spec works. So it's good to just have something really simple and small if you can. Okay. Okay. Cool. So that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully that's some useful feedback. I'm not the best at Solidity, so maybe
No,
it's
trust
not.
me, this is huge help, Sam. Thank you very much. I have another question. One
Yeah,
of
of course.
the extras we have, it's a standalone contract that could be used to query any other any contract that implements this EIP. How should we handle that? Should it be like because it's not really an extension.
So
So
that's
yeah, this one, render utils.
okay. Yeah, so do you expect there to be multiple implementations of it or just a single implementation of it?
No, I think a single implementation would do.
Okay, then
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be an EIP then. So
Okay.
you can just make it to put it up on like a website or like try to get it into Open Zeppelin maybe or anything along those lines. But it doesn't need an EIP if there's only going to be one implementation of it.
Okay. Thanks. And thank you very much for doing
No, no problem. Thanks for proposing. It's I don't know much about the NFT space, but this seems to be a problem that a lot of people are working on. So I'm happy to see people working on it.
Yeah, we actually plan to propose another two, one for nesting and one for equipping, and all those three work together very nicely and
Oh, perfect.
to add a bunch of possibilities.
So there is another EIP that's about layering SVGs together on chain. And I think the use case was something like you could equip items onto your character and the items would appear in the thumbnails. Not exactly related, but I think they're working on a similar kind of problem. So take a look out for that EIP. I don't remember it offhand, but
yeah, we've seen a couple. We've seen one which has nesting from like child scope, parent scope, and also for ERC20s. And that one, I think I saw it, but it's limited to SVGs. So when we propose it, we will make sure to clarify these differences.
Perfect. Well, so do you think there'd be any value in getting all of the people who are working on these NFT composability projects together to talk about it? Is that something you'd find useful or?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'll see if I can organize that, or maybe Pooja, you can look into it. But
yeah, we will look into that. We'll talk to a couple of other like proposers of NFT and try to have that then.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you,
All
guys.
right.
Thank you.
All right. The next one that we have here is 5857. Sorry, Felix, do you
Hi.
have any question or anyone?
Yeah, we
Hi,
have a
excuse me.
quick quick question from Jeremy.
Yeah, came back to the 5496 system. Sorry, Sam, to interrupt you.
Oh, no worries. Yeah.
Yeah, back to the file, you just point out that you see some lines still there. Or I can share my screen. Is that possible?
It should be. Yeah.
Okay.
And let me stop this.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks good.
Yes, because you just point out this line still here, right? You can see if I click here to view files, right? It will jump here. You see, there's no privilege transfer, but I think the problem is Camden does not. I don't think this merge into the main branch here, right? Here's the main branch, so you can see this one still here. Is this is why you still see that one, or anything I missed? I mean,
So,
back to here, yeah. You see this line still here, right? But I think
yeah,
I already read
odd.
this is my branch, right? And that's my commit, right?
Here, let me look into this a little bit.
Yeah.
The
So
question is,
I'm a little bit confused.
yeah, the question is, we already committed the new file, but the submit is not merged, and that's why probably you didn't see it, and but we don't know why.
Yeah, okay. So 5496, and that was in the
Okay, let me
test
close
no,
my share. Yeah.
IRC. Okay, so that's in the assets directory. 5496.
Sam, if you're aware, it's fine. I just wanted to let you know we can't see your screen anymore.
Yeah, I'm just digging through Git right now. There's nothing super interesting in there.
Okay, that's all good. And yeah, there was another proposal's author joined in the call today. So we can, if possible, we'll take it today. Otherwise, we'll have it on the following week. But Gaurang and Khemraj, if you have any specific question that you can type it in the chat in the meanwhile while we are looking into 5496. Yeah, please go ahead.
So just before we jump to that, so on the privilege transfer thing in Git, I have no idea what's going on there. I guess I'll try to do the review on my computer. It might have something to do with the fact that you're using the master branch on your repository, but I really don't know. I'll look into it.
Thank you, Sam.
Okay, so I have shared the number here, 5857, Sam, for the next discussion.
5857. Oh, this one right here. Okay, cool. Let's dive into this.
Yeah. Hey, Sam.
Hey,
Khemraj here.
how's it going?
Yeah, going good.
Good. Oh, this is a nice short one. I'm happy with short. Yeah. Okay. So.
Sam,
you want to
you
share screen?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This time it's not intentional. There we go. Share.
Yeah, so we have made few changes to our EIP, and that PR is merged, and now we want to take this from draft to review state. So that's the first thing.
All right. So let's just see the full file here. Okay. There's representation of multiple. Okay, so this is actually seems like it's solving a remarkably similar problem to the previous proposal, where each item has platform-specific data associated with it. Okay.
Okay. Actually, I lost your voice. Can you please repeat?
Oh, sure. Sorry. Could you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this seems similar, like very similar to the previous EIP I was reviewing, because I guess the idea of this one is that each platform gets its own specific information about the NFT. The only difference is that this one is implemented as like sub NFTs, and the previous one was implemented as like metadata on the same NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. But like there could be a case like let's take an example like multiple metahouses has their own contracts and the NFTs. So just having one NFT, I'm not sure like how like those NFTs can be used in multiple platforms, because Sandbox will not allow decentralized NFT, right?
Yeah, I think this one would probably work with less support from the like vendors, whereas I think the previous one we were looking at would work better for like if the vendors are on board. So I'm going to assume that do either of you authors work on a platform that renders NFTs in game?
No,
No, we don't. Sorry, come back. Yeah, go ahead, come back.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that there is at least someone on the rendering side that's also working on this stuff. So that's good. Okay. So that looks fine. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I have no problems with this. It looks like it's ready to go into review. So I assume you're aware, but I'm going to say it anyways. So the review process is up to you. You need to go out and find people that you think are relevant to review this EIP, get them to comment on your discussions thread, and try to come to a consensus on what the best implementation is. And then when you decide it's ready to move to last call, that's up to you guys to make the PR to do that.
Okay.
Okay, quick question there, Sam.
Yeah.
Usually, how long does it stay in the review phase?
Yeah. Usually too long, I think. But not the fault of the authors. That's usually my fault. I don't review very often. But yeah, leave it here until you are relatively confident that you have solved the problems in the EIP, that anybody else who might be interested in implementing it has had a chance to comment on it. Usually, this is a good time to build prototypes and integrations because the review status kind of indicates that the EIP is mostly done, so it's safe to start implementing. So yeah, I guess try to get some implementations going and socialize it with other people who'd be interested in and would be using it.
Okay, got it. Thanks for that.
All right. So we are almost close to time, but if we have time to take one last one, maybe we can take the one proposal which is ready for moving into final, that is 2612. The pull request number is 5782. We do not have the author on call, but looks like he has done whatever was requested by another EIP editor.
Okay. Why didn't I merge this? That's fine, I guess. So it's approved. Why does this need to be manually merged? Because it's failing that. Why is it failing that? Discussions. Oh, yeah, okay. Yep, this is totally fine to merge. All right. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I hope I was somewhat helpful in answering any EIP related questions. Feel free to come back if you have any more, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Pooja.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
And just one
Thank you.
important reminder for everyone, it's going to be at 1500 UTC, especially for people living in the United States, because we are hitting daylight saving next week. So the next meeting will be at 1500 UTC. Please be sure to be there in according to your time zone. Thank you for joining. Have a good one. And thank you, Sam, for all these hard work here. Have a good one.